Good evening, I'm Corey Griffin.
And I'm Brandon Sejo. Welcome to UC News. It's been the kind of winter old timers talk about. You know, where you walk 2 miles uphill both ways?
That's right, this is what it's felt like in this bone-chilling, record-breaking, snowy cold. Steve Wittenberg shows us why it's caused so many problems.
Both students and workers have found this winter harder than most to get around Cincinnati.
And without it being shoveled good, which is pretty much impossible to do, because once the snow fell, who's going to get out here and move their car?
Ice and snow have built up over the past 2 weeks. While crews clear the roads, students walking the sidewalks have proven more slippery than safe. The University of Cincinnati has cleared much of the snow, but most students live off campus on streets like Clifton Avenue, Wheeler Street, and Warner Street. These streets, and many others in Clifton, have something in common: a steep uphill walk to campus.
Now many students have to walk up streets like this one to get to class. With record lows in the past 2 weeks, snow and ice have stuck to the sidewalks and aren't going anywhere for now.
From a distance, it looks like the sidewalks off campus are clear.
Once you take a closer look, the ice covering these sidewalks is extremely thick and very slick on top.
It gets worse when snow begins to melt. Patches of ice are surfacing on driveways and sidewalks. The city of Cincinnati has a law forcing residents to remove snow and ice from sidewalks, but landlords don't have to remove it themselves.
While Cincinnati waits for warmer weather, students walking to class should watch out for slick spots. Stephen Wittenberg for Bearcast News.
Go.
It's bad enough walking to classes in this cold winter. Imagine waiting outside for hours for a bus trip out of town. That's what patrons of Megabus are experiencing now that the company has moved its bus stop. Rachel Cook joins us with that story. Rachel?
Megabus is a popular way to travel, but may lose some business after it moved its stop to a new location.
It's a popular way to get around, the Megabus. For years, it used this spot in the heart of downtown Cincinnati to pick up and drop off customers.
There's nowhere to wait for your ride, and there's no people around, so it's kind of just in the middle of nowhere.
This is the new location, far from the business center. A lone spot with no coffee shops, bathrooms, or shelter anywhere nearby.
There's no shelter or anything where you can wait in the cold or the snow, and all there is really a porta potty, and that's all we kind of have to wait with.
However, the company's new downtown pickup and drop-off location may be making people think twice about taking the Megabus.
Until they relocate their drop-off area to a safer place, I probably won't be taking the Megabus anytime soon.
We tried to reach Megabus to confirm whether or not the change in location was due to the company not wanting to pay such high fees, but no response was given. I'm Caitlin O'Neill, reporting for Fox 19.
So now imagine what happens if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere and someone tries to hold you up. You need to call 911. But what about times when you might need to summon help without someone hearing you? Brian Webner shows us a new alternative.
Dan Chrismeyer lives on Stratford Avenue, where crime has been a problem, so in an emergency, he knows what to do.
Yeah, there's been a couple scenarios where we've had to call 911 here.
It's something we've all learned, but now there's a new twist. In Hamilton County, you can text instead. It may be the only way to summon help during a break-in, domestic abuse, or other situations when a person may need to contact 911 quietly.
Yeah, I actually heard a story a couple days ago of a person around the Cincinnati area who was kidnapped and put in the trunk of a car. He posted a status on Facebook asking for help, so I feel like if he knew that texting was an option to 911, that would have been very useful in that situation.
Director of Hamilton County Communications, Jason Dunn, says that in the next 12 to 24 months, the number of stations that accept text to 911 will increase dramatically.
City officials say it's important for residents to view texting 911 not as a replacement for calling, but as a useful alternative in the right situations. The motto they preach is, call when you can, text when you can. For Bearcast News, I'm Zach Scott.
It was a call to 911 that first alerted police to the death of Leila Alcorn, a transgender girl who killed herself in Cincinnati when her family wouldn't accept her. It's a fate Alexa Helwig tells us a group of people on Fountain Square hope to avert in the future.
Supporters of the transgender community came together to say enough is enough. Organizers staged a die-in on Fountain Square to raise awareness for transgenders that are fighting against violence across the country. Over 100 supporters of the transgender community will be lying all around Fountain Square this afternoon in support of the 8 transgender women that were murdered in the last 34 days.
The main idea of this event is love and justice. We're not trying to be aggressive or put anyone down. We just want to let everyone realize that trans people are people.
demonstrators read the names of transgender women who have been murdered. People then laid down to represent those deaths. Protesters were emotional, remembering the lives that were lost to transgender abuse. They held signs asking the community to stop the violence.
I'm excited with the turnout. It means that people are listening. People want to engage in their community. So I'm appreciative of everyone that came.
Trans Ohio plans to continue educating the community on transgender violence. I'm Alexa Helwig for Bearcast News.
Transgender rights aren't the only controversy that's gotten University of Cincinnati students talking lately. So did what happened at the Crosstown shootout this year. Joanna Branch explains.
It's one of the highlights of the year for University of Cincinnati students and fans.
What started out as innocent fun at the Crosstown shootout soon turned into something more when a student painted himself up to represent the blackout theme. The reaction from students around campus towards the blackface was not as humorous.
The problem only got worse when the student's picture ended up on President Santa Ono's Instagram account. The university deleted it soon after and apologized, but some say that's not enough.
I was more so concerned that he didn't notice it immediately as blackface and that it could potentially be offensive to African American students.
The UC Racial Awareness Program helps make minority students feel more at home.
RAP was created to build dialogue between the groups, and we've been around for 30 years now since, and I think incidences like the one that happened kind of showed the need for a program like RAP.
Students say being aware of this problem is what really matters.
Not because, because it's his fault or that he was trying to be offensive, but I think it's disappointing that we're not teaching Black history well enough for a student to know about blackface beforehand and know that it could potentially be offensive.
For more information on RAP or ethnic programs and services, head over to www.uc.edu/SALD. With Bearcast Media, I'm Joanna Branch.
A popular chain to buy sports equipment may inadvertently be selling stolen goods. Angie Wilkins shows us how you can avoid becoming a victim.
With a few weeks left of winter, parents are gearing up their children for spring sports, but parents and children should be cautious to make sure that bases are the only thing stolen this season. Played Against Sports is a sporting goods store that buys and sells used sporting equipment. Now with buying used equipment, the store does run the risk of running into some stolen items. Employee Nick Pico says that not everybody knows to call them if their items are stolen.
Played Against Sports.
Well, what happens is if someone finds out their stuff got stolen, they call the cops, and the cops will call us, and we'll make a note for it on the back counter. And if the stolen stuff comes in, we'll call the cops or just get the equipment from them.
Open garage doors and leaving equipment in the trunk of your car makes it easy for someone to steal. Simple solutions such as keeping items locked up and writing your name and phone number on them helps prevent someone from selling your items.
Mostly we see baseball bats and golf clubs. Golf clubs are always easy because they're in people's garages.
So keep your equipment safe from theft and ensure that this season is a great one. I'm Andrew Wilkins with Bearcast Media.
Finally tonight, a local radio show has been making national waves for decades in a most unorthodox way. Brendan Seho brings us a story from the field tonight.
At the TA truck stop in Florence, Kentucky, where most drivers right now are sleeping. But tonight, they'll be back on the road and tuning in to America's Trucking Network. Every night when the clock hits 12, the truck horn sounds.
And away we go, looking at a Wednesday hump day.
And the voice of Steve Summers hits the air to truckers across the country.
It's a pretty amazing thing. My father started the show in 1984. I started working with him in 1996.
Steve's father, Dale, better known as the Trucking Bozo, started ATN more than 30 years ago.
Hello, white trash. Hi there. How you doing this morning?
For decades, drivers called in across 38 states asking about weather, report on traffic, or just talk and laugh. But no real names on ATN, only handles like Monkey Gouger, Old Fart, or Shadow Chaser. Back in 2002, a listener in Maryland helped to catch the D.C. sniper after Bozo read the suspect's license plate on the air. Father to son for the Summers family, it's just a good trucking time.
Hey, what? Is that guy for the TV station still there?
Yeah, he's around here somewhere.
Tell him to take my picture. I've never been on TV before.
Wait a minute, Freddie.
ATN can be heard every morning from 12 to 5 a.m. on 700 WLW. Reporting live in Florence, Kentucky, Brandon Seho, UC News.
The show continues to air on stations across the country. I don't know about you, Brandon, but I'm going to tune in to WLW tonight when I'm on the road.
Yeah, definitely. If you're staying up late, it'd be a good idea to tune in.
Definitely. That does it for Bearcast News this afternoon. I'm Corey Griffin.
And I'm Brandon Seho. Have a great evening.
You guys ready to do it again?
We're born ready.
Okay.
Born ready.
I didn't realize we were doing it twice.
Sorry.
I mean, you're too far, so you didn't explode it.
Power comes straight from the desk. So the desk is probably on. It's whatever is generating.
Hey, Andrew, I got a weird request. Would you mind taking a photo of me from like that perspective since I'm looking into that camera?
Right, you're gonna have to control.
Would you mind snapping a few photos for me?
Wait, when does it move?
Do you mind taking pictures for me?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, get that kind of in the frame too, so it looks sweet. Like,
Oh, you want the camera in the frame?
kind of like, you know, you can take a couple different ones. I
He has
just,
an Instagram to run. Just
yeah, I do.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah,
And just for my
you can get the
personal
camera
ego.
in there too if you want to. Off that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. I'm Corey Griffin.
And I'm Brandon Seho. Welcome to UC News. You know, Corey, it's been the kind of winter old timers talk about. You know, when you walk 2 miles uphill, both ways.
That's what it's felt like in this bone-chilling. All right, we gotta start over.
They weren't recording.
Oh, perfect. I had messed up anyway.
Sweet. 'Cause I said you know 3 times in one sentence, so.
You know?
Where am I moving this camera to? What am I framing it in afterwards?
Right here.
Okay.
Us
Okay,
too.
5,
Oh, shit.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening. I'm Corey Griffin.
And I'm Brandon Seho. Welcome to UC News. You know, Corey, it's been the kind of winter old timers talk about. The kind where you walk 2 miles uphill both ways.
That's what it's felt like in this bone-chilling, record-breaking